Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find that this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So, chosen, I want to talk to you all about the signs that have been cautioning you, whether it's to tell you that you're going down the right path or to tell you that you're going down the wrong path. You've been receiving signs for a very, very long time. Even well before you had awakened and you became conscious of the synchronicities and signs, you've always received them from a young child. Most of you had just random people that will come and tell you things like, you're different, or you're going to be someone very special, or, there's something great that's in store for you. I'm sure that you've received these messages from people that you barely even knew, right? Because the fact of the matter is, most of the time, the chosen are not surrounded by people in their personal circle that's really going to shine that light on their potential. So you'll have karmics who will tell you the exact opposite of who you have the potential to become, because they don't want you to come into realization of that potential. But it's usually the strangers, whether it was at your job and people tell you it's just something about your energy that just brightens up the day, or it changes the environment in a positive way, or, you have always received some sort of sign. People might have told you at one point, like, you're going to be someone, famous. People are going to know your name. I remember when I was working as a registered nurse, I had a patient. She was bedbound, and her husband would come and see her all the time, as often as he could, because he was on the road a lot. And he was a much older man, and I stopped and I spoke with him one day. We had a long conversation, and this is when I was the sleep. I was rubbing the crust out of my eyes. I can't even say that I was fully awakened, but I was definitely on the journey of awakening. But it was well before I was officially awakened. And I was talking to him about various things, on natural healing methods for his wife. And he looked at me and he said, "What's your name?" And I told him my name. He said, "Can you write it down on this piece of paper?" I wrote it down on a piece of paper. He said, "I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in my Bible, because I know that one day you're going to be someone really great. And I want my children and my grandchildren to know that I knew you." And I was just, of course, I was humble. I was so flattered. But at the same time, I was like, great, I'm a nurse, okay. Not really being able to see beyond that, not being able to see that eventually the Most High would remove me from that particular career path and set me on a totally different path. Like, I had no foresight. I was not able to see what he saw, but he was one of quite a few people that I'd run into that would tell me, like, you're different. You're not like the rest. It's just something about you. And I know many of you out there as the chosen seed have experienced a very similar energy that has been preparing you pretty much all of your life for taking the road less traveled and for putting yourself out there to do something great. A lot of you, many people recognize that you were not a mere mortal, but you come here and you don't really see that in yourself, right? You don't really recognize that you are far greater than society has told you you were. You've always known you was different, but of course the chosen are very humble beings, and so you never elevated yourself to that degree, but other people always saw that light in you, whether they wanted to take it from you and dim it so that you would never reach that potential, or whether they saw it from an angle where they wanted to encourage you to see it in yourself. Others have always seen it. And so Many of you are earth angels out there, and you have divine assignments to assist humanity. And your journey and your calling is very, very unique. It's not common. It's what people would say is taboo. You are the one that's here to shift the energy, to change the way that society thinks and moves. And you're here to be the example. So that's why you have so many changes that are happening in your life that's catapulting you towards your destiny. And so you have angels that's surrounding you, and they're clearing out toxic energy, and they're helping you to uproot and leave the past behind, whether it was past thoughts, past belief systems, past people that was in your energy, past career paths. Your spiritual team is working overtime to show you that you are headed in the right direction. And so you're always receiving clarity to let you know that, okay, yes, what you're doing, what you're working on, it is effective. It is working. Keep going. Okay, keep going. Don't stop. Stay committed to your path. Okay, stay ambitious, because you're going to see results. You're going to see rewards behind what you've been doing. So your spiritual team will send you messages and synchronicities along the way. Now that you're awakened, it's become far more amplified to the point where you can't unsee it. And you never really fully get used to the synchronicities. Like my spiritual team, they will do things and I just can't help but just laugh. Just laugh, laughing out loud. Because it's like, wow, that's just amazing. You know, like yesterday, I was in a car with my son, and I literally looked at my clock and it said 11:11. I looked at the timer on my phone. It said 11:11. And so I told my son, I said, look at what time it is. And he was like, whoa, that's crazy. Now, this is my 11-year-old son, mind you. He said, whoa, that's crazy, because I was literally just thinking in my head, what numbers are you going to see today? And so it's almost like my spiritual team was working through him to confirm, but also his spiritual team was working through me to give him that number in that moment that he was thinking about it. Because, see, even your children, if you have offspring, they are being awakened at a much earlier time in their life, a younger time in their life, because you're awakened. So because you broke the generational curse, they're actually paying attention to the things that most people would take for granted. Because you broke the generational curse, they're able to experience life from a different set of eyes, and they're not just taking things with a grain of salt. They see it as being something that is important or something that is a sign. And so, whereas in the past, had I not been awakened, I could have seen 11:11. My son could have seen 11:11, and we would not have thought anything of it. It would not have even crossed his mind to think of what numbers are going to come through. You see what I'm saying? Or when we see, like, particular birds, or when butterflies come through, or, particular animals, it stands out. We pay attention to these things, and we recognize it as being a sign to let us know that the Most High is speaking, our spiritual team is speaking, okay? And so these things are noticed that much more. But your spiritual team is also letting you know that those creative ideas that are coming to mind, those things that, you're excited to work on, they're telling you, like, yes, I'm showing you these synchronicities, and they're coming in that much more, that much faster, and that much more frequently, because I'm reminding you, yes, keep going, keep going, keep going. And so this is a really vital time. It's a beautiful time for the chosen, and to be able to communicate directly with your spiritual team in that way, especially once you begin to interpret those messages and you put your own meaning behind what 444 means, or what that cardinal means when you see it, or what that blue jay means when you see it, or what that yellow, orange butterfly means, or what that white butterfly means when you see it. You start to put it becomes a tool of communication, is what I'm saying. And so when you have that ability to communicate with your spiritual team, through signs and synchronicities, it makes this experience that much more amazing, but also that much more clear to understand. Like, it becomes your spiritual navigation system to say, okay, it's almost like in the spiritual realm having a bunch of street signs. So one street sign when you're taking a path could be 444. Another street sign could be 1111. The other street sign could be an orange butterfly that's going in a particular direction. The other could be a dream that gives you a specific message, or an awakened vision, or someone walking down the street and saying, hey, you look like the person that wrote a book that I was reading the other day. You look like that person. And you already got that indicated that you're supposed to be writing a book. It's things like that that just shows you that this thing called life is so much more than what we see with our natural eyes. And it's not until you open up your spiritual eyes that you start to recognize that, man, all of this time I had no idea that the Most High had created all of these things as a tool of communication for me, as a tool of healing for me, as a tool of awakening for me. And when you start to realize it from that angle, it's like every day becomes that much more adventurous and exciting, because you wait to see what communication are you going to receive. How is it going to be interpreted? How is it going to be communicated to you? It becomes that much more amazing. And so you don't take life personally. You start to experience life, but you don't take situations personally anymore. You take it as, okay, this is my opportunity to address some things, especially if something makes you feel uncomfortable. If you're triggered by something, you see it as an opportunity to go and do some more spiritual work on yourself to heal. And it becomes that much more exciting because it's a direct communication to you. And that's just your spiritual team saying, hey, clean that part up, because we're leading you to another door. And in order to walk through that door, we need you to clean up what was just triggered. So you go and you already possess the spiritual tools to clear the energy. And you actually do that. And then suddenly here comes another door that's opening. Suddenly you feel lighter. Suddenly you feel more free. Suddenly more creative ideas start flooding in because you listened. And you're not going against what's being shown to you. You're going with it and recognizing that all of it has purpose. And so keep going, keep paying attention to the signs. Don't take anything for granted. When people come to you randomly and just say things, they're being sent. They're being used as vessels to speak to you, to help you to realize, like, yes, you're headed down the right path. When you see those particular angels or whatever signs and synchronicities that you are receiving, continue to use it as a tool of communication, and knowing that your spiritual team is reminding you, we are here. We see you. We want you to keep going because you're getting closer. You're getting closer. It's almost like that game that we used to play as a child, hot and cold, and you'd have to close your eyes and figure out where they were located just based on the sound of their voice. So you're using your other senses beyond your natural sight, right? And the other child is like, okay, you're getting hot. You're getting hot. You're getting cold. So if they say you're getting cold, you're going in the wrong direction. When they say you're getting hot, you're getting closer. And so this is how your spiritual team communicates with you. They let you know when you're getting closer. They let you know when you're going off track, because different changes will happen. You'll feel, but they never take you off track to the point where you can't get redirected and set back on the right path. They might take you off track a little bit just to let you know, hey, your energy is not in alignment to keep going. I need you to address something over here. So I'm going to take you off the track for a minute so you can do a little bit of cleaning up, or so that you can take a rest break, recalibrate, get your energy back in alignment, then get back on path. So just pay attention. It's a beautiful thing, this experience called life. Remember, we are spirits having a human experience, and so we're going to always receive direct guidance from the Most High and our spiritual team, because they will not allow you to go astray if you give them that permission to lead you and to guide you. So that's my message for you all. I love you. If you find that anything resonates with you, or if you have anything to add to this message, leave a comment below. I would love to hear what you have to say, and I'll talk to you all next time.